Strangler Bob. You hop into a car, race off in no particular direction, and blam, hit a power pole. Then it's off to jail. I remember a monstrous tangle of arms and legs and fists, with me at the bottom, gouging at eyes, doing my utmost to mangle throats, but I arrived at the facility without a scratch or a bruise. I must have been easy to subdue. The following Monday, I pled guilty to disturbing the peace and malicious mischief, reduced from felony vehicular theft and resisting arrest because all this occurs on another planet, the planet of Thanksgiving, 1967. I was 18, hadn't been in too much trouble. I was sentenced to 41 days. This was a county lockup with its ground level devoted to the intake area and the offices and so on, and above that 2 levels for inmates. They put me on the lower tier among the rowdies and thugs. Down here, the deputy promised me, if you sleep late, you'll get your breakfast swiped. The air smelled like disinfectant, and something else that was meant to be killed by disinfectant. The cells stayed open, and we were free to go in and out and congregate in the central area or stroll on the catwalk that girded the whole tier. This resulted in a lot of wandering around by as many as 20 men in denim pants and blue work shirts and rubber-soled canvas moccasins. A lot of pacing and stopping and leaning and sitting and getting up and pacing again. Most of us would have fit in perfectly in a psych ward. Many of us had already been there. I certainly had. My cellmate was an older guy, late 40s, with a bald head and a bowling ball paunch, awaiting final disposition and sentencing. When I asked him sentencing for what, he told me, something juicy. My second night there, I overheard him talking to Donald Dundon, a boy about my age, who had a habit of wandering the catwalk after lights out, climbing on the bars and propping himself in cell doorways, stretching out his arms and legs, spread-eagling himself against the jambs and suspending himself in the air that way, and striking up idiotic conversations. My attorney already made the deal, I heard my cellmate tell Dundon. I'm waiting for a date to go to court and plead out to 25 years. I'll get released the day I start drawing my Social Security. If you don't mind me asking, Dundon said, what are you down for? A misunderstanding with the wife. Ho, ho, maybe you can talk to mine. Dundon danced away ape-like and left us alone. He'd been caught leaving a 3rd-story apartment by the window. He wanted to stay in shape for future high-elevation work. The sounds of the cell block faded. The last stray remarks, the thumping and coughing, and the bunkmate below me said, You're the one they call Dink, right? I have another name, I said. I lay in the top bunk, talking to the metal wall inches from my lips. Not in here, you don't. What's yours? Strangler Bob. After a while, I peeked over the bunk's edge and studied the face below me, now only a black oval, like a fencer's mask. And because I stared too long in the dark, the face began to boil and writhe. The lower-tier standout resident was a young giant with a blonde pompadour hairdo and an urchin's face, apple cheeks, fat forehead, happy blue eyes. The jailers called him Michael, but he referred to himself as Jocko, and the other prisoners did too. Jocko hustled around all day, looking for somebody to listen to his opinions, or even better, arm wrestle him. He said he'd been in county jails here and there a total of 18 times, never for shorter than 30 days. He was not yet 21. This time, he'd been arrested for giving a man some well-deserved punishment in the dining area of the Howard Johnson, which he described as the wrong kind of restaurant for that. Jocko knew all the deputies and staff around the jailhouse. He whispered to me that the sheriff's wife, who worked downstairs in the administrative office, had many times propositioned him. He lacked any ambition or strategy for crowning himself king of the cell block, but he was nevertheless a star, and the lesser lights constellated around him. Zit-suckers, he called them. My first morning on the tier, I did sleep through breakfast, and somebody did steal mine. After that, I had no trouble rousing myself for the first meal, because other than the arrival of food, we had nothing in our lives to look forward to, and the hunger we felt in that place was more ferocious than any infant's. Cornflakes for breakfast. Lunch, bologna on white. For dinner, one of the canned creations of Chef Boyardee, or on lucky days, Dinty Moore, the most wonderful meals I've ever tasted.